I do, you do, we do, they do, she does, he does, he does, everybody does. I do, you do, they do, we do, he does, she does, he does, everybody does. Songs have always been a great tool to pass on information or a message or something very important that you want your learners to retain. And mine is not an exception. In today's class, I want to talk about the simple present tense. And I'm going to use this same song to make it sink right into your head so that you wouldn't forget again. I remain Madame Udozo Cynthia Ifoma, your favorite English language tutor, always bringing English right to your doorstep. If this is the kind of video you're looking for, the kind of video that will teach you how to express yourself in English, then you are at the right place. Do well to like, do well to subscribe, and do well to share. Stay tight and let's do this together. The simple present tense, and I want to look at them using the verb to be and the main verbs. When we talk of the verb to be, we are looking at three forms of the verb to be. Remember, there are present tense and there are past tense of the verb to be. But we want to look at the present tense, and they include am, are, is. I want you to take proper look on this very column. You will see that when I say I, it becomes I am. I am a woman. I am an English teacher. Correct? You becomes are. You are. You are my friend. You are an English teacher. You are courageous. Yeah. And when we say we are friends. We are relatives. We are teachers. They are. But now, let's go down here. You see that everything changes once we have he, she, it. We call it the third person singular. It uses is. And take proper note of this. Everyone, everybody, everyone, everything, somebody, no one. It could be someone. Whenever you have this kind of indefinite pronoun, just know that you are supposed to use the singular form of a verb. Let me tell you this. Every verb has is plural and singular. So you need to find out what person is being talked about. Is the person a singular form? What is the singular form of the verb that I should use? And by the time you know this, you are already on your way to hit your goal in spoken and written English. Please take proper note of these. Everybody, everyone, everything, somebody, nobody, someone. Whenever you have any of this indefinite pronoun, it will always take a singular verb. And that singular verb are the verbs here. When it comes to the verb to be, this is the singular form of the verb to be in the present tense. And all of these persons here would always take is. So you say, everybody is here. No one is here. Everyone wants to learn. Everybody wants to learn. Everything is all right. Is that taken? All right. But when it is I, you, we, they, it changes. And I've just used a song to do something very important, which is on the main verb. We have millions of main verbs. I may not be able to represent all, but I'll use this to say a lot about the main verb. The main verb are those verbs that can stand on their own when in a sentence. Now let's look at these main verbs. We have I am, I do as the main verb. You are, verb to be, you have you do. We are, we do. They do. And when it is here, do changes automatically and becomes he does, she does, it does, everybody does, everyone does, no one does, nobody does. That is how to express yourself in the simple present tense. Is that understood? Okay, and that's why I sang my song. I do, you do, we do, they do, he does, she does, it does, everybody does. I take it again. I do, you do, we do, they do, she does, he does, it does, everybody does. That will help you to master the expressions in the simple present tense. Okay, now I'm going to tell you something very important you need to know. When it is a third person singular or these indefinite pronouns like everyone, someone, nobody, no one, everything, something, when you have this and you have he, she, it, the verb would always take s, es, or a change of y to res depending on the nature of the verb. So I'm going to put you through the verbs that you should change when you have these pronouns. Let's do that. When you have a verb that ends with sh, ch, and you have a verb that ends with o, when it is third person singular, take note of o. At the level of o, you put es. And a good example is go for third person singular. But if it is not any of these pronouns, just know that you maintain the verb the way it is. I go, you go, they go, we go, he, she, it goes. Everybody, everyone, everything goes. Is that okay? Now let's do this again. And when you have a verb like this, they wash, I wash, he, she, it washes. You wash your clothes. So we add es. Take note. Is that okay? Okay. Another place to know when to add es to a verb when you are using the third person singular is when the verb ends with ch. For example, preach. My mother preaches everywhere. My mother preaches everywhere she goes. We have seen the verbs that must take es whenever there is a need to use the third person singular or these indefinite pronouns. Now I'm going to give you examples of verbs that you should change the y to ies once you're using those persons here. Once these persons are involved, he, she, it, indefinite pronouns, everybody, everyone, someone, no one, nobody. Once they are involved and you have a verb that ends with y, the rule states that when you have a y and then verb, and that verb has a consonant before the y, you change it to ies. So we can say, he cries a lot, she cries a lot, it cries a lot, everyone cries a lot, everybody cries in Nigeria, somebody cries. That's how to say it. But when it is I, you, we, they, you say they cry, I cry, we cry. Well understood, right? Okay. But when the verb ends with a y preceded by a vowel, there is a vowel before the y. When there is a vowel before the y, do not change the y. Don't change the y. Just add s. If you're using any of these persons. Does it make sense? So we say, he plays, she plays, it plays, everybody plays, everyone plays, no one plays, nobody plays, nobody plays here, somebody plays here. Is that understood? Okay. Once you've grabbed this, we're already good to go. Okay. And when we have other verbs that end with K, P, every other kind of consonants at the end, the rule states that you should add just S. For example, I talk, you talk, we talk, they talk. Once you come here, you add just S and you say, he talks, she talks, it talks, everybody, everyone, somebody, nobody talks. Okay, let's follow suit. With that, you understand what I've done here. Let's go together. So, I do, I play, I teach, I cry, I dance, I watch. You do, you play, you teach, you cry, you dance, you wash. We do, we play, we teach, we cry, we dance, and we wash. They do, they play, they teach, they cry, they dance, they wash. Correct. They wash their clothes every day. They cry every day. I cry every day. But that will not be your portion. Don't cry every day, okay? All right. Let's go ahead. Now, the rule changes because we have what we call the third person singular. He, she, it, and indefinite pronouns. The rule states that I've told you the kind of verbs we add es when it ends with an o. So we say he does, she does, it does, everybody, everyone, everything, somebody, nobody, someone does. Correct. And when it comes to play, remember, when it is a verb that ends with y preceded by a vowel, the rule states that you just add s. So we have he plays, she plays, it plays, everybody, everyone, somebody, nobody, no one plays. Correct. The same thing happens here. I told you the kind of verb that will take es when it ends with ch. Is that okay? Let's go ahead. When I gave you an example, my mother preaches everywhere. That's a good example. Now we have another. Teach. He teaches. She teaches. It teaches. He teaches English. He teaches chemistry. I don't know. Whichever. And everybody, everyone, no one, something, somebody teaches the language. That's how to express it. Okay. Cries. I told you when it ends with y, you change to ies for these kind of persons here. Third person singular down to the indefinite pronoun. So we say he cries, she cries, it cries, everybody, somebody, nobody, everyone, everything cries. Okay, the same thing happens here. Dance will no longer be dance because it is third person singular. You say he dances, she dances, it dances. Everybody, everyone, somebody, nobody dances. Correct. The same thing happens all over, as you can see. So, whenever you're thinking of what to do about a verb with this kind of person, make sure you follow these rules. Is that okay? Before I leave you, I'm going to do some exercises with you in order to digest the lesson. And to do that, you're going to stay tight with me. You work as I work with you. All right. Someone out there might be asking, so what is simple present tense? Simple present tense is that very tense that expresses a habitual action, an action that is regularly done, an action that is universally true. For example, the earth is spherical. It can never change from being spherical to triangular. That is a universal truth. Now, the President of the United States of America lives in the White House. That is another universal truth. And we express such with the present tense because he will never stop living in the White House. All right. Another way to know the simple present tense is when you talk about a habitual action. And what is that habitual action? An action you do every day. She goes to school every day. She treks to school every day. And remember, when it is they, we say they trek to school every day. We trek to school every day. I trek to school every day. That is a simple present tense. You express a universal action with a simple present tense. You express an action that is true with a simple present tense. And you also express an action that is habitual. You do it every day, every time, with the use of the simple present tense. Stay tight and let's do these exercises together. Okay, we are going to use the words, the verbs in the bracket to complete the sentences. Let's do this together. Number one, one of my uncles lives abroad. Which of them? Think about it. When you have an expression like this, do not be deceived. We are not working with the uncles. We are working with one of. One out of. You understand, right? One out of the many uncles you have lives abroad. So we take lives, correct? I hope you're there with me. Let's do this together. Number two, everyone, remember, I told you something about the indefinite pronoun, and this is one of them. Everyone is, everyone are. Which one do we say? Of course, is to be blamed for his misconduct. Let's go to number three. Think about it. One of my children, similar to what we did here. One of my children. You're not working with the children, you're working with one out of the many children you have. So, what do we say? Speaks. You add S. Okay. Nobody. Remember? Indefinite pronoun. No one, nobody, somebody. Knows tomorrow. I hope you got it right. Knows. Okay. The music equipment. This is dicey. Equipment takes zero plural. You don't say equipments, no matter the number. Yeah, that is how it's being expressed. Equipment is equipment. Whether 1, 2, 3, the same thing. And because it is so, we say it's. Did you feel it? Okay, let's get it. The equipment is outside. The task is daunting. What do we say? The task is daunting. Correct. James does his chores every morning. Habitual action. Something he does all the time. What do we say? James is just a person, a name. And we say does. James does his homework or chores or whatever it is. And the last but not the least, we morning devotion every day. I want you to drop the answer right under the comment section. Thank you. If you were with me to the end of this class, bravo. I am glad that you followed me till this moment. Keep on watching my videos and I promise you'll get to that very grade you're looking for. Do well to like, share and subscribe. Tell others about this channel. And while subscribing, do not forget to turn on the notification button, especially if this is the kind of video you want, so that you will always be the first to get my notifications each time I upload videos like this. Stay tight and see you soon.